On a bright, sunny afternoon, Mansu sits at the table with his family, enjoying a rare moment of peace. The meal in front of them is unusually lavish, filled with expensive cuts of meat sent by the paper-making company where Mansu has worked faithfully for 25 years. It's meant to be a reward for his loyalty and dedication, a gesture that makes him feel valued. As they eat, his neurodivergent daughter Ryan fills the room with the soft, careful sound of her cello, practicing nearby with deep focus. His wife Miri smiles as she reopens the costly gift Mansu bought her, admiring it again. Overwhelmed with gratitude for the life he believes he secured, Mansu pulls his family into a warm, tight hug, convinced that everything is finally falling into place. The next day, that sense of security shatters. At the factory, Mansu learns the company has been sold to American investors. The new owners announce plans to cut 20% of the production line and demand a list of employees to be fired. Alarmed, Mansu approaches one of the new executives, pleading with him not to destroy the lives of loyal workers. His words are dismissed without a second thought. Shortly after, a coworker asks Mansu if he also received an expensive food package. That's when the truth becomes painfully clear. Only the employees being let go were sent those gifts. A passive-aggressive farewell. Mansu realizes he's already been fired. Still not ready to tell his family, Mansu quietly joins a support group for unemployed workers. During the meeting, the group leader leads them through a strange ritual, instructing everyone to touch their own faces and repeat phrases about how losing their job isn't their fault and how their families will stand by them. The exercise feels awkward, but it gives Mansu just enough strength to call Miri and confess what happened. He tries to sound confident, promising her that he'll find a new job within 3 months. 13 months pass instead. Mansu now works a low-paying retail job with long, exhausting hours. His salary barely covers basic expenses, and a constant toothache plagues him, growing worse by the day. Even so, he refuses to spend money on a dentist. One day, a friend manages to get him an interview at a major company. Desperate, Mansu asks his retail manager for permission to leave early. The request backfires badly. He's fired on the spot, forced to return his uniform, and ends up standing outside in his underwear, humiliated and exposed. Before the interview, his friend warns him that the company always asks candidates to name their greatest weakness. Unsure how to answer, Mansu calls Miri for advice. All she can think of is that he loves plants too much. While he prepares, Miri checks the mail and discovers they're behind on their mortgage payments. The pressure continues to build. At the interview, Mansu is visibly nervous from the moment he sits down. When asked about his weakness, he admits that he can't say no to people. The honesty costs him the job. That night, Miri shares her own news. She's found work at a dental clinic. She also lays out a list of sacrifices the family will have to make until Mansu finds stable employment. Extra activities are canceled, budgets are slashed, and plans are made to trade their cars for cheaper ones. She even suggests selling the house to cover their debts. Mansu is devastated. He reminds her that the house is his childhood home, something he spent years repairing with his own hands. But Ryan quietly points out that Mansu's severance pay is gone and shows him a letter from the bank. If they don't pay what they owe, they'll lose the house in 3 months. The next morning, Miri's parents come to take the family dogs. She tells the kids they'll get them back once Mansu finds work again. Soon after, a potential buyer named Wo arrives to inspect the house. Mansu can't stand being there and leaves. Outside, he finds his son Cyan hanging out with his best friend Jian-Oh, who happens to be Wo's son. Back inside, Ryan cries over losing the dogs. Mansu promises her they won't abandon the house. But after yet another failed interview, his dignity finally collapses. Desperate, Mansu blocks a bathroom door and drops to his knees, begging a company executive to listen while pouring out his frustrations through tears. Manager Sean Call forcibly pulls him away, tells him to have some dignity, and hands him a bit of money for a drink. At a bar, Mansu downs whiskey while watching videos made by Sean Cole, discovering that he's become a highly successful corporate influencer. Suddenly, Miri video calls him, furious that he's drinking. She also tells him that Ryan's cello teacher wants to meet. The meeting brings more bad news. The teacher explains that Ryan is a prodigy and can no longer be taught at her current level. She needs advanced lessons from a far more expensive instructor. That night, Mansu and Miri watch Sean Cole's corporate videos together. Miri casually remarks that Sean's job would be perfect for Mansu, joking that he should be struck by lightning. That joke plants a dangerous idea in Mansu's mind. The next day, Mansu begins quietly following Sean Cole through the city. He watches him from a distance, memorizing his habits, his routes, his pauses. When Sean suddenly stops to answer a phone call, Mansu almost gets caught staring and panics, rushing up a nearby staircase to hide. From the rooftop above, he peers down at Sean Cole and lifts a plant pot, holding it over the edge for several long seconds. His hands shake. He sets it down, then reaches for a larger pot, clearly heavier, more dangerous. Just as he prepares to drop it, the owner of the plants catches him in the act, forcing Mansu to put it back. While awkwardly buying the plant to avoid suspicion, Mansu realizes something unsettling. Even if Sean Cole were gone, there's no guarantee he'd get the job. There would still be competition men just as desperate as him. Later that afternoon, Mansu returns home carrying a toy gun and a burner phone. A new plan has formed. He contacts a paper-making industry magazine and places a fake job advertisement claiming that a prestigious paper company is looking for experts with advanced experience. The next day, Bao Mo lounges at home, irritating his wife, Ara. Since losing his job, he's been drinking constantly, neglecting his hygiene, and avoiding responsibility. When Ira leaves for an audition, Bao Mo flips through the paper-making magazine and spots Mansu's ad. The listing reignites something inside him. Motivated for the first time in months, he finally showers and writes a detailed application letter, listing all his industry experience. Soon, resumes begin flooding Mansu's inbox. He reads every single one, carefully comparing them to his own background. One by one, he eliminates candidates until only two remain: Bao Mo and Shiju. These are the only men who could outperform him in an interview. Mansu burns the remaining letters, then retrieves his father's Vietnam War gun from a memorial display, secretly replacing it with a toy gun. Mansu begins spying on Bao Mo, hiding among trees with binoculars trained on his house. But there's a problem: a security camera. While watching, he notices Ara's young lover sneaking out through a window. Bao Mo studies how the man avoids the camera, and Mansu memorizes every movement. When the lover starts walking toward the woods, Mansu panics and flees back to his car. The following day, Mansu returns to the same spot. Bao Mo nearly spots him while searching for mushrooms. Mansu hides, clutching the gun, but he can't bring himself to pull the trigger. Suddenly, Ara joins her husband, and they sit down for a picnic. Bao Mo barely listens to her, obsessively checking his phone, waiting for news about the fake job. Ara finally snaps, yelling at him for refusing a cafe job her father offered because he only wants to work in paper. Bao Mo fires back, reminding her that the paper industry supported them for years. Then a thought hits him. Would a real company really send physical mail? He runs toward the house to check the mailbox, while Ara angrily throws food at him. At that moment, Mansu rolls down the hill, exposed. Ara spots him immediately. He's been bitten by a snake. Acting fast, Ara wraps her tie around his leg, tells him to raise it, heats a knife, cuts the wound, and begins sucking out the poison. Mansu is horrified and tries to stop her, but she insists she learned this in a play. He receives a call from Miri and tells her he'll call back later. When Ara finishes, she hands him a stick to scare off snakes. That night, Mansu researches snake bites online and realizes Ara did everything wrong. Doctors say never to cut or suck the wound. Shaken, he returns home and dances with Miri, reminiscing about better times. The mood shifts when Miri brings up Cyan. She reveals that Cyan isn't Mansu's biological son, but Mansu refuses to accept that distinction. He raised him. He insists that paper isn't just a job. It's a legacy that must survive the digital age. The next day, Mansu sneaks into Balmo's house using the camera blind spot. Upstairs, he hears Ara with her lover. Balmo isn't home, so Mansu leaves. On the road, he spots Balmo returning and quickly follows him. Using the burner phone, Mansu calls and tells Balmo he's been selected for an interview, but it must happen immediately. Balmo goes inside to change, only to discover his wife's affair. He collapses outside, devastated. When Balmo tries calling back to reschedule, Mansu ignores the call. Broken, Balmo leaves to drink with a friend. Later, Mansu picks up Miri. She notices fast food in the car and disapproves. Her boss, Jinho, offers to treat Mansu's toothache anytime. Mansu grows jealous and drives off angrily, warning her never to mention him again. That night, Mansu returns to Balmo's house with the gun hidden in a kitchen mitten. He confronts Balmo, who mistakes him for Ara's lover. As Mansu reveals the gun, Ara returns home, raising an award to strike him. She freezes when Balmo says she's the only one he loves. Mansu snaps, screaming at Balmo for neglecting his wife and refusing other work. Balmo breaks down, claiming he deserves better than retail and can't lift boxes because of his back. Ara mocks him. In the chaos, Mansu accidentally shoots Balmo in the shoulder. Ara strikes Mansu, and all three struggle for the gun. Another shot rings out. Mansu panics and flees. Balmo chases him outside only to be shot dead by Ara. After Balmo collapses lifeless on the ground, Ara turns the gun toward Mansu and begins firing wildly, her shots uncontrolled and desperate. Mansu barely escapes, diving into his car and speeding away. The fuel gauge flashes dangerously low, forcing him to stop at a gas station. His phone shows 10 missed calls from Miri. When he tries calling back, she doesn't answer. Panicking, Mansu calls his children. They don't know where their mother is, but they repeat something she said earlier: "Your father is going to pay for this." That's when it hits him. He forgot about the costume party they were supposed to attend. At the party, Miri has arrived with Jinho. He's learned her favorite dance, and they move together effortlessly. When Mansu finally shows up, he watches from a distance, crushed. He awkwardly dances toward them, but when Miri sees him, she ignores him completely. Mansu retreats, humiliated. Later, Mansu returns to Balmo's house. While Ara is distracted with her lover, Mansu buries Balmo's body and retrieves the gun. That night, Miri returns home and discovers Mansu has searched through her drawers, checking which underwear she wore. He accuses her of cheating and tackles her, trying to smell her clothes. Miri kicks him away and realizes he's been drinking again. She reveals a painful truth: Mansu was once an addict, sober for 9 years. During his worst days, he even hit Cyan. Furious, she throws her underwear at him and screams that he doesn't trust her. Mansu insists they must stick together, but Miri accuses him of hiding things and driving excessive miles in their car. She believes he's the one cheating. Mansu storms out and accidentally slams his face on the door. The next day, Mansu begins stalking Shiju, the last remaining rival. Shiju works tirelessly at a shoe store, struggling to support his daughter. When the girl interrupts him for money, a customer leaves, costing him a sale. Mansu watches, conflicted. When Shiju approaches him as a customer, Mansu feels overwhelming guilt and pretends to shop for shoes for his daughter. They talk. About paper. About unemployment. About pride. Mansu says he'll return later. That evening, Mansu stages a breakdown on the roadside, pretending his car is broken. When Shiju stops to help, Mansu uses what he learned from the resume Shiju has mechanical experience. While Shiju checks the engine, Mansu pulls out the gun, covering Shiju's face, so he doesn't have to see him. Shiju struggles and tries to run. Mansu shoots him dead. He hides the body in his trunk and drives away, unaware he's dropped a bullet casing. As rain falls, Cyan sneaks out and joins Jian-ho to rob a store. Police chase them, and the boys split up. Cyan escapes. When Mansu arrives home, he notices Cyan's muddy bike, but ignores it. Exhausted, he tries to bury the body, but falls asleep instead. In the morning, police arrive. Mansu positions himself carefully to block the trunk. The family drives to the station with the body still inside. Mansu coaches Cyan to blame Jian-ho, emphasizing family loyalty. While Mansu speaks to police, Miri distracts Jian-ho's father, Wen-ho, subtly convincing him not to press charges. Mansu adds pressure by revealing footage of Wen-ho's affairs. Furious but trapped, Wen-ho backs down. Later, Mansu finds stolen phones in Cyan's room and secretly keeps the cigarettes. The family buries the phones in the garden. When Cyan is released, Mansu gives the cigarettes back, playing the cool dad. That night, Mansu prepares to dismember Shiju's body in the greenhouse. Cyan secretly watches from the roof. Unable to go through with it, Mansu ties the body into a compact bundle and buries it beneath a new plant. Detectives arrive soon after, investigating the disappearances of Bao-mo and Shiju. They were top candidates for the same job. Mansu slips up, speaking as if the men are dead. The police mention the bullet casing North Korean manufacture. Miri overhears. Later, Cyan confesses what he saw. Miri finds the toy gun and digs up the garden, discovering the body. Meanwhile, Mansu confronts Sean Cole on the road and pretends to be a fan. He drinks with him, secretly staying sober. Sean admits he's overwhelmed at work. Mansu pushes in to recommend him for the job. When Sean grows suspicious, Mansu prepares to kill him, but Sean simply brings more beer. Overwhelmed by tooth pain, Mansu pulls out the rotten tooth himself. Later, he knocks Sean unconscious and buries him alive, only to finish the job later with alcohol, food, and suffocation. He stages the scene as an accident. Miri calls. Mansu lies. She tells him she'll help him if he needs to do something bad. Days later, Mansu gets the job. The factory is empty. Machines replace people. Miri gets the dogs back. The house is saved. The detectives close the case Ara, convinced them Bao-mo killed Shiju and fled. Mansu stands alone in the factory, listening to music, watching machines do the work of men. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.